97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Why did I choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So I can sleep the way I like. You too can find your Sleep Number setting and sleep the way you like with a Sleep Number bed. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. For a limited time, for J.D. Power's 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at sleepnumber.com or at the Sleep Number store near you.
Let's go!
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game, brought to you by Hyundai. After an incredible weekend of football, we're down to the final two teams that will face off in the biggest game of the season. Each team will have a chance to rest up and get healthy while we tune in to watch the biggest stars in the game compete in skill games in the annual All-Star events. Who will lift the trophy at the end of the season? Brought to you all by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
We've got trade wars, rising costs, global chaos, and a skyrocketing national debt. It's no wonder gold keeps hitting record highs. With everything going on in the world, thousands of hardworking Americans are looking to help diversify their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And they're turning to the top-rated gold company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match and bonus silver if you qualify. Find out how you can diversify your savings, tax and penalty-free today. Call 855-969-GOLD. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 skills-based degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. The main roads are looking good right now, but be aware of possible delays due to construction on Kellogg at I-135 in both directions. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and colder today. A high of 29. Factor in the north to northeast winds, 10 to 20 and gusty. It will feel colder. Staying cloudy, 14 overnight. More clouds on Friday and even colder with a high of 26. We'll see a few flurries, but no problems are expected. 1 below 0 on Friday night. Continued cold Saturday, the high 19. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Worry less about your dog eating the couch while you're at work thanks to a stay-at-home pet's best friend. Us. Tell your smart speaker to play
97.5 and 1240 KFH. Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Typically, I'm here for Petty. I like Petty. Petty's funny, but denying Bill Belichick entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame is neither petty nor funny. It's just idiotic. Belichick, though, is not the big loser here. The losers are the 11 or more who didn't vote him in. The losers are the ones who are so butthurt by the guy, they completely abuse the responsibility that comes along with having that vote. You didn't send him a message or prove anything other than you are a thin-skinned loser with a personal agenda if you didn't vote him in. You don't have to like the guy, but you do have to vote for the guy. 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 more as a D coordinator, 3rd winningest coach of all time, and somebody who revolutionized the game makes this the easiest vote and the biggest no-brainer ever. It's not a popularity contest. It's the freaking Pro Football Hall of Fame. At least it used to be. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
There is no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks. Just pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup to play. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Use my code ROME and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you here on Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland with you. Max Power producing. Max has your KFH hotline ready and waiting at 869-1240. We've got your video streams on 12 News Connected, Facebook, YouTube, X. You can comment to us there. You can leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app if you're listening to us that way. Glad to have you with us, however it is that you're taking in the show this morning. A lot of topics to get to today. We'll have some time to discuss what's going on in college athletics. There's been, some change in the Wichita State administrative staff that we'll talk about and sort of roll into maybe some lobbying in Topeka to get a little help from the schools. We'll explain what we mean. Meanwhile, Jerome Tang takes aim. We didn't talk about this yesterday, but after the game, took aim a little bit at the NCAA and the rules. So we'll have a kind of a broader discussion this morning with college athletics. So we'll have that for you. Tim Fitzgerald will not join us today. He had to postpone. No big deal. Hope Fitz doing great. So we'll not have Fitz this morning, but we'll discuss that. We'll discuss Eric Bieniemy's comments to the Chiefs media yesterday. And we'll have it all for you here. What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company with $3.40 beers today to celebrate the birthday of the 34th state, our home on the range, Kansas. Let's party in honor of the Sunflower State with $3.40 beers all day at all 3 WBC locations. Today only, Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here in Kansas. Happy Kansas Day, TJ.
It is Kansas State. I didn't know it was Kansas State today. I'm sorry to the state for not knowing that.
You should.
I know. You didn't grow up in Kansas, so you didn't understand how big of a deal Kansas Day was for elementary school kids because you get the sunflower cookies on Kansas Day every day. Every year we got them.
It's a big deal for every state. That's not just a Kansas thing.
What'd you get? You didn't get sunflower cookies, I bet.
I don't remember.
What'd you get? HTO cookies?
No, in Texas, we could. What a thing back then. We had probably got like blue bonnet cookies. I don't know. They didn't give us a lot of cookies in school back in the day. You smuggled those things in, is what you did. You traded them. You bartered with them. You learned what it was like to be a real Texan or Kansan out on the open range. Boy, we had a great story. We'd invite you to go watch yesterday. A lot of people have heard about this because they've been asking me. I don't know about you, TJ, but Arkanj Rayleigh Lamovu is over at Maize South, and we had a chance to catch up with them, you and Gabriela Hernandez and his brother, for a cool rising star. You can go find that story, kwch.com, catchkansas.com. So I'd invite you to do that. 6'6", 12-year-old who is a really cool kid, it seems like, and doing some cool things over at Maize South. So go check that story out. Make you be proud to be a Kansan, that he is now a Kansan from Cameroon.
That's right.
Ready to make waves in the basketball world.
That's right. Cameroon to Kansas might have a pipeline going on. Thinking about Joel Embiid coming to Kansas from Cameroon.
Oh, was Joel Embiid Cameroon? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boy, I don't know that I knew that. I don't know the exact country there on that. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right. Look, it's been a crazy week in the college world, I guess you could say. We've got all these different things happening. We haven't talked about it yet. Wichita State with some administrative changes. I don't think it surprises me all that much. I don't feel good about it. I feel heartbroken for some of the people involved, in fact.
Yep.
But I think bigger picture, like schools have budgets now. And if the budget ain't working, they're going to have to do something different. But that's not just exclusive to college athletics. It's a thing that everybody has to deal with. The economy's tight right now. Like there are a lot of places closing and changes happening. I think for the Shockers, TJ, and I don't fully buy and endorse it's because NIL. Wichita State has been paying far more in coaching buyouts than it has in NIL. And B, everything is tough right now. Like restaurants are closing. People aren't spending money as much. Trust me, I'm a business owner. I know this full well what the last 18 months have been like. People aren't spending their money as freely. And unfortunately, there are budgets to keep. And it's like it's a harsh reality, and we don't like where it's headed. But I mean, at some point, I don't know what's going to stop that from happening.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever you want to say that it's because players are getting paid, and it's coaching buyouts, put more pressure on, but you can use the money that you're going to save from this to pay off the coaches, so that way you can have more money to pay the players. You know what I mean? Like it all trickles down to the money has to go to the players.
Wichita State was paying coaches far before NIL was a thing. So they
weren't
excuses from me.
But they weren't laying off people before players were getting paid.
They're making staff changes, sure. I don't. Here's what I don't want. I just don't want excuses, right? Like I don't want excuses. Oh well, we have to pay players, so our books aren't in order. You've been buying out coaches for years, and I think that the thing is like, if it doesn't where was the money coming from to begin with? Because the NIL part, are we even fully to the revenue share thing yet? Are we even we can ask Kevin Saul how that works. Like, are they writing checks for revenue share right now?
Yes.
Because that's the bigger part.
That's why
NIL.
That's why it's hard, is because they have to pay. They have to pay them, basically, is the other part of this too. Like, it's not a question of, we'll just pay Kenyon Giles.
What we're being led to believe is the NIL part, or the sort of free agency part, is the reason. And that to me doesn't, you spend what you have, right? The revenue share part is more realistic, right? That's revenue that was going other places that now can't go other places, but not the NIL, not the car commercials.
The best
players.
Well, that's a separate thing.
Arch Manning is not making millions and millions and millions of dollars because of revenue share, but people are going to associate his making a bunch of money with this, and I don't know that that's quite fair. I think it's the revenue.
I mean, he's
share
making it. He's making think about the Brendan Sorsby situation that we talked about. I can't remember what they said. 5 million, is that what they said for Sorsby or something like that? He's making $2 million from Texas Tech, and he's probably going to make $3 million in NIL.
But that $2 million is not revenue share. They're not paying all their football players $2 million.
No. But it's revenue share is like the umbrella of just saying that this money is coming from the university. The NIL money is not. The NIL money is the same NIL money.
And the NIL money, and we'll have Kevin Saul in tomorrow. And we'll ask him some of these, because there are technical pieces to this, but you like, yes, the revenue share money is from a pool, but that's coming, right? That money has to be shared. That is the bigger change. The NIL part. The only thing you can say about the NIL part is that donors are now redirecting the money they were donating, and maybe that has an impact on payroll. I have no idea.
It's just the fact. The only thing that's going on now is that schools are now paying the players, and now the NIL money that they were getting paid is just being distributed to them more so by the schools,
but
and
the
they
dollars,
don't. They don't.
Coming in are different.
Yeah, like they don't need to go be in the car commercial to get a check anymore. Basically, like the school can just say, "Here you go. This is your revenue."
I think they still have to prove it. I mean,
for a different thing, it's weird.
On the NIL,
there's a lot of rules going on.
It's and that's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to try and sort through it. So how does this all work together as administrators are now asking lawmakers for help? It's rocky right now, and lawmakers are probably the only ones that can help. Maybe not in the way that we're going to discuss, but in other ways. We'll have that talk next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app. Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Get that piping hot Prairie Fire coffee going this morning. It is cold. Just a reminder. I don't know about everybody else. I wake up and I was like, man, it's colder in the house than it was the day before. Ready for this?
We've reached the point where all the snow is now frozen. We live in the tundra. We live in Antarctica.
It's going to be that way probably
for a week.
Middle of next week.
And then it's going to snow more on Friday.
No, it's not. It's going to be a dusting. Don't even bring that energy to this. It will not. It will be fine. And then we'll melt it next week. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of the unease of college athletics. And I'm sick of the winter. And I'm sick of January. And can we just, be done with all of it? All right. We're talking college athletics. So a couple of things have happened this week that have put this front and center for us. Some staffers at Wichita State, in some cases, some amazing, incredible staffers that I've known for a very long time have been let go in sort of a rearranging. You can connect the dots. It's the changing of college athletics. It is what it is. I have a hard time with this one, with really anything in regard to like publicly funded universities and things, because I think we can all be honest with ourselves and wonder, boy, was that the best use of our money, our taxpayer money, and everything else? Like we see that stuff all the time, right? Maybe it's a grant you don't agree with. Maybe it's a facility you didn't think that needed to be there. Maybe it's a player that you didn't think needed to be paid that much. All of it together, like it's a tricky budget to work through, and there are lots of them in this country. We work for a radio company that just merged a sports wing of it, and a lot of great people lost their jobs. I'm no longer going to be on the national airwaves at all anymore. I'd have to imagine, TJ. I've been a part of newsrooms. When I got to KWCH, there were so many people in our newsroom, TJ, that people had to share a desk. Now, I want you to think about how big and enormous our newsroom is and how many empty desks are in there now, and know that 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, whenever I got here, we were sharing desks. That's how many people were in that newsroom. Not that way anymore. So it's not exclusive to college athletics that the finances and the economics are changing. Amazon laid off 16,000 people yesterday, or whatever it is, announced they're going to lay off 16,000 people. Like, it is a tough economy right now. And I think sometimes we're getting too simplistic with the reasons we're seeing college athletic departments change. For what we'll hear about right now, and I want to be sensitive to this because I don't like it, right? I don't like it anytime anybody loses their job. But what we'll see is, what happens to XYZ program, non-revenue generating, when revenue gets shared? But the reality is, okay, I get it because I love college athletics too. But at the same time, they weren't generating revenue, but they were taking a lot of revenue.
Yes.
So you have to weigh out, and I would hate to have to be the person to do this, but you have to weigh out, like, what is the important thing here? What is the most beneficial, useful thing here? Is it to have premier programs that do generate the revenue, or to take the money from those programs and give it out everywhere else? It's a hard reality, but it's a reality. It's a reality of life, right? Like, so I don't want to blame players for the first time getting compensated. Maybe it's too much. That's eye of the beholder. For the problems that are facing college athletics. The problems that are facing college athletics is the only way the economic model worked forever was the people most responsible for the success and the money being generated by college athletics were grossly undercompensated or not compensated at all, right? And they were held and restricted by these standards that nobody else on campus, let alone nobody else in the workforce, was held to. You must stay here for no money, and you cannot leave. You just have to sit there and like it. Meanwhile, you and I both know, we both knew college athletes who couldn't afford lunch, right? They had nothing except for, great, a scholarship. That's awesome. That's a great benefit. But you get to some of these bigger places, and these players are generating millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it's nothing other than what's under the table. So, like, it's always been this chicken and egg situation where college athletics is a business model that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And now, as it's beginning to be combated, it doesn't work. And it's going to be really uncomfortable for a while. And it has been, and it's not going to just immediately get better.
Yeah. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say. Like, the driving nail that's going to cause all this stuff is the fact that players are getting paid is what's causing this mess. Like, I agree there's now economic hardships, but it's stemming from the fact that money is now going to the player. And I'm with you. It should have happened. But the hard part is now there's no rules and nobody enforces anything. And that's the driving factor in all this stuff. But like, you can say whatever you want to say about all these things and about how, yeah, it's true that, blank sport, track, we'll just say track, for example, here. Like, they aren't generating the revenue that a football program is generating or a basketball program is generating. And for decades and decades, the idea of college athletics was that football is going to go make us enough money to make the rest work. And that worked. Now, football makes enough money to pay for your offensive line. And you need help with donors for the rest of it. At the Power 5 level, like Ohio State, that's probably true. You can't even pay for your own team with the revenue that your football team went out and made that year. And that leaves nothing for everybody else. That leaves them asking donors for, well, we need to be good at basketball too. Can you also give us some money for that? And there's no rules, and they're supposed to be capped at 20.5, and nobody's playing by that rule at all because we've seen $20.5 million football rosters by itself. And it just keeps stemming from that.
Do you think the $20.5 million football roster generated more than $20.5 million in the season in which it played?
I'm sure it did at that level because they sell out those $100,000 stadiums.
But I can almost certainly guarantee you it did. If you want to use Texas Tech as an example, do you think they generated more money than it took to pay that roster?
Yeah, but think about it more so the levels that you trickle down to, like Wichita State. Like, you want to talk about them? You think that their basketball roster is $10 million? Like, I know it's not $10 million. That can't happen.
It's chicken and egg. The roster has to be at a cost that it generates more than it costs.
As they trickle down more and more, like, they get to the spot in college athletics in this middle ground where it's like, we're making revenue, but we are not making enough revenue to sustain a model where we are doing this every single year. And there's no return on investment for anything.
Well, there's a return on investment if you focus.
If you win, but
if you're focused on, let's take Wichita State basketball. if you're paying the players enough to return a positive for basketball itself, then you can say, boy, basketball was a big success this year.
Yeah.
But but the problem is now you can't take all that money and then go support the other program.
Let me say,
and I don't know what to blame
for donors.
Is that basketball's fault? Is that the players' fault? I'm telling you, the Greg Marshall buyout, if I remember correctly, $8 million. Okay. I don't know what the combined salary of the staffers that were let go from Wichita State. All right. But $8 million is about to come off the book. How many years could those staffers be employed with that $8 million? Do you think? For a long time.
But in the same breath, like $8 million may last you 3 years of paying for players.
That's right. But that's not my point. My point is, don't blame paying the players for the reasons that you're in a financial hardship, because paying the players has a return on investment. What is the return on investment for buying out a coach?
I agree. I mean, we've talked about that at length.
Zero. It's zero. So if you're going to go to, and we'll not to jump the gun into the next part of this conversation, if you're going to go to state lawmakers and you're going to ask them for money for help, which is a different discussion, but at minimum, if you're going to do that, you know what the lawmakers need to say? Yeah, okay, we're going to help you, but buyouts are not legal anymore. That's not a thing. We're done with that. Like, because it's stuff like that you should be mad at about college sports. You should be mad that you've got to go, triple your coach's salary who's already under contract and create a ridiculous buyout that is unsustainable if they no longer achieve the level of success that you expect. That is far more egregious than paying a player to come play.
That's the thing, is that there's no rules on any of this stuff. Like, and whatever, this is an hour-long conversation by itself. Like, look at the NBA. The NBA has rules on how much you can pay a singular player. And like, I understand market value and all that kind of thing, but like, there's literally things called max contracts, super max contracts, which says you can only make this much. And so that's a whole other thing.
Well,
like,
but
why
you can only make that much, but you can't control what LeBron James makes from Nike.
No, that's a different conversation. He can go, they can do what, but I'm talking about schools are now under the House settlement. They are now paying players out of their revenue.
Right.
And then whatever else is gravy. Yes. Whatever. Brendan Sorsley might be making $4 million from Adidas, but he's making $1 million from Texas Tech because that's on their books. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. And the main point that I really want to get to with all the things pertaining to, the Wichita State situation of what's going on. And by the way, for those that don't know, this is more than Wichita State. KU did this last year. Like, it's happened
everywhere.
It's happened at about 5 different places already, like that are in public eye. It's not just Wichita State. The scary part about all this stuff, it was the first thing that got brought up whenever the House settlement got brought into the eye, is that, like, what does this mean for track, for example? We'll keep using track. Like, if they are doing this for, 5 staff members, which you bring up is not $8 million, whatever number you want to make it is, like, what does that mean for, because by the way, scholarships count towards this as well. That's part of your $20.5 million cap. If that ever gets enforced, like, that's 50 scholarships for track. That's whatever scholarships for this team. That's whatever scholarships for this team. And then the revenue share is they're probably getting paid as well. Like, it's going to get to the point, if it slips down the slope, that it's like, well, the only thing that's really going to make us money is men's basketball. So what are we doing with these programs? Like, why are they here? And like, I understand there's values and there's core values and everything of that nature. And I don't think that Wichita State is going to get to that point unless doomsday happens. But if you're looking at it from a strictly green numbers on the ledger, what are the other programs doing for you? And that's the hard part about college athletics, is for years, football paid for everything else. Basketball paid for everything else. Now, football and basketball are, for the most part, paying for football and basketball. And everything else is just, we'll figure it out.
Well, but at some point, everything has to, and unless you get into getting support from, Topeka in this case, or from, whatever governmental agency because these are publicly funded institutions. But then I go back to, as a taxpayer, well, you better show me why that's necessary. If you're taking my money, you better show me why that's necessary.
And
you better show me why we need to research the flight patterns of a butterfly, right?
Yeah.
Like what, like it's not an endless pot. And so the part that sucks, the part that I hate the most, the part that it's reality, but I don't like it, but it doesn't matter what I think and like, is that some of the things that have been happening aren't financially viable. Like they're just not. They're not sustainable. They're not viable. And like I hate that. But what are we supposed to do about it?
I know. That's what to me is almost the scariest part of this is that you think about Nigel Pack back in 2021. It's like Miami gave him $800,000 in a car. Are you kidding me? Now it's like Brendan Sorsby just made $5 million to go play quarterback at Texas Tech. And it's in contract. You will make this much money. Like, and it's just gotten to the point, and then the house settlement happened. And that was supposed to be the thing that gave it guardrails to say, like, okay, we don't need Joe down the street to pay for your salary anymore. We can handle it with our revenue that we're getting. And for many cases, Ohio State, they're probably doing fine with that. They make a boatload of money on their football program. They could probably handle that kind of thing. But then it keeps trickling. It gets down to this level, and it just gets scarier and scarier because there's just no rules, and there's no there's no fatigue that we've seen in 5 years of this thing. And it's gonna hit, but it hasn't hit yet.
We have to start with the rules, and the rules are going to have to come at a federal level, and lawmakers are going to have to put that in somehow. And look, it's going to be complicated, but you have to start there. The NCAA doesn't have enough teeth for this thing. So you have to start with, all right, what can lawmakers come up with to at least get control of the chaotic nature of it, right? Like how do you differentiate? In a lot of cases, these are public institutions, right? They're relying on taxpayer money and grants and all of these things. How do we get control of what's allowed and what's not allowed? To me, the free market is the free market. NIL is NIL. If a booster wants to walk in with a bag full of money, that's good for the booster. Like I don't care about that anymore.
That was the idea that was supposed to happen. And there's a clearinghouse from Deloitte. A room full of lawyers is supposed to be taking care of that to make sure.
But like, you don't need to prove it. If the booster just wants to give somebody a bunch of money, awesome. Pay the taxes on the money and let's all move on with our lives. Good for that school for having that booster. Okay. Don't like that part. It's really, to me, it's like, what is the school on the hook for here? And that is what we have to get control of. Trying to control NIL because you're jealous or you don't like that Texas Tech has a bunch of oil barons fund. Like, that's not the reason people are getting laid off at places. Okay. Like, that is not the most important and pressing issue at hand. That's been happening since the beginning of time. Under the table trash bag money. Okay, we've just never been open about it. But that's not the problem. Boosters can do whatever the hell. I don't care what somebody else does with their money. And I don't care if they want to pay a player. Great. If you want to pay a player to come there and play, good. Fine. Don't care. That's not why people are getting laid off. Unless you would then say those boosters are no longer giving that money to the school to distribute however it wants to distribute it. And that's where I'm like, well,
I mean, the simplest level of this stuff, and I imagine this is how Kevin Saul will explain it from the conversations that I've had. Like, boosters can do what you're describing, but with the room full of lawyers, why
do we need a room full of lawyers for that?
Listen, no, because
you want to cut some salaries. Why do we need a room full of lawyers to say where a booster can spend his money?
That's the NCAA's thing. The money from the boosters now goes to the school. The school takes that to pay the players under the $20.5 million cap. The local car dealership, they can go above and beyond whatever they want to do. But if there's not a deal for something, then it's just revenue share money, quote unquote revenue share money. that is on the hook for the university. However they get that money, whether it be booster or ticket sales, that's the university writing that
TV
check.
packages, or it is, and I get it. Like, it's so,
and that's where the hardships come from, is the fact that is on the books.
Well,
all that
there
money's
are
on the books.
other hardship. I just don't want this all to be about, oh my gosh, we're paying players and the sky is falling, because I think there has been so much waste and abuse in these coaching contracts that that to me is far more egregious. Let's come back. Let's continue the conversation at Sports Daily on a Thursday.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new local news live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
On KFH.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Daily here. Jake Ballbrock, TJ Cleland, trying to sort through the chaos of college athletics as it pertains to us here locally lately. We also have a couple other things. We learned yesterday that Vahe Gregorian, one of our personal favorites.
That's a fun conversation to get into.
Is one of the no voters on Bill Belichick. So we'll get into that in the next hour as well. But that was I kind of feel bad about some of the discussion we had yesterday when you hear his explanation.
Because you know it's Vahe, too.
Well, yeah, there's 100% because I know it's Vahe and I love Vahe. Yeah. But the other thing is the points that he brings up. You're like, you know what?
It's an interesting discussion.
I'm not totally sure I wouldn't have done the same thing. So we'll explain that. It's really, really interesting. We'll get into that story in the next hour. But we're continuing our discussion on college athletics. So here's TJ. Like I cannot accept these two things coexisting. That we're finally doing the right thing in player compensation. Now it's out of control. Like it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say it's being done the right way, but at the end of the day, we're doing the right thing. Right. And it being the reason everything will fail, because if that's the reason everything will fail and crumble, then that ain't right. The way it wasn't right. So like, but I do believe, I'm an optimist, that both things can exist at the same time. I think we can get there. Athletic staffs have been being cut for a long time. Every industry in the country right now has struggled through the last 18 months. People don't want to spend their money. That hurts. It hurts everybody. Hurts an athletic program because they don't sell as many tickets. They don't sell as many sponsorships. Like all of it is uncomfortable. But I cannot accept that paying players is the reason this is all happening. It's more egregious. The coaching buyouts that are paid are far more egregious than paying the players. Jerome Tang, after the game, is mad that the NCAA is changing the rules, and Jerome Tang, again, I like Jerome Tang, but he does this sometimes, makes excuses.
The two things can be true about this, and this is a separate conversation as well. Jerome Tang, one, is correct in what he said. Two, should not have said what he said.
No, he's essentially Cliff Notes. The NCAA keeps changing the rules. I can't figure out what rules I'm supposed to be running my program by.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, Jerome Tang, through a successful season, has managed to create a almost $20 million buyout in his contract. Like that's a rule I think that needs to change as well.
That's the thing that is the perfect example for all this stuff. Like you talk like the Wichita State example. We've all seen the books of they're paying Greg Marshall, they're paying Isaac Brown. I'm not sure if they're still on the hook for Eric Wedge. Like Boatwright was on the hook there as well. Like Wichita State was paying coaches to not come to work, basically.
A lot of people.
That's basically the best way to put it. And now, as you look at K-State, and you know that this money is really important because they got a new football coach and they want to make a run in football, and that money is invaluable. I guess that's kind of an oxymoron. Money is valuable, but it's invaluable to what it can do for your football program. Right. Texas Tech, case in point. If you're good, you will turn that money into something else. And so you think about it, the basketball team is in the basement. They are in hell right now, and everybody wants Jerome Tang to get fired. If you're Gene Taylor, I don't think you, in good faith, can light $18 million on fire because of what $18 million could do for you for these other things. And that brings it back to Wichita State. Like, Greg Marshall's not a good example, but whatever. Isaac Brown, if this was the things that were going on when Isaac Brown was here, I mean, I think that there's at least another conversation to be had about, like, can we do that? Like, do we have the funds to pay somebody not to come to work right now when the money that we would pay them could in turn go to the team to make the team better?
Or the administrators we just had to lay off. So,
exactly.
Like, I think, so this all, and I hope we're making sense, like, or at least I am, like, to weave all of this. So if you're going to have the conversations about going to Topeka and asking lawmakers for help, there's only one way, I think, that you could justify helping as a lawmaker in this scenario. And that is if, right, the money is used in a way that generates more than your, if there's an ROI on it. And so if you're going to ask me for money, I'm going to tell you that the biggest waste of money right now in college athletics is a coach having a good season, then holding its school hostage for a new contract immediately. That is the biggest and most glaring waste of money to me. If you're going to ask me and I'm a lawmaker, the contracts that these schools give out become flipping ironclad. If you leave before your contract expires for another job in another place, you owe us $50 million. Like, I don't care what it takes. But
the hard part about that
have happening is a coach has a good year, and now the school has to scramble and create the most insane contract that exists so that you please don't leave me. Please don't leave and go somewhere else. And we'll and if we fire you, we'll give you way more than we would have given you if you coach. Like, it's the stupidest thing.
I know, but it has to come. That has to come at a federal level, though, because as you keep talking about the market, like if Kansas lawmakers did that, then when Bill Self retires, KU is not going to land anybody that they would have landed otherwise. You know what I mean?
You set the rules, and maybe it can happen at a federal level. It can't.
It has to. I mean,
but what you can say is, here's the cap for what a coach can make in this state. If you want my money, I'm a lawmaker. If you want some money from me, we'll help you. We'll help you pay, just like you help them.
I know.
We pay the president of the university and all these things. Here's the cap on that. You can make $5 million, up to $5 million. Okay, that's it. But if you breach this contract, there are massive penalties. Okay, so you come in, you get hired at $1 million, you can get raises. We're going to cap it at 5. There's a number of years tied to it. But what you can't do, we're going to put a non-compete in there. What you can't do is you can't come in here and then break your contract and immediately go take another job, or somebody owes the state all the money it took us to recruit you, all the money it took us to negotiate the contracts, all the money it takes us to go hire another coach, all the money. So you can do it, coach, but somebody's got to pay us $50 million for you to do it. If you want to coach that next year. If you want to go sit out for a year or two, okay, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea as a lawmaker to propose that, but as an athletic director, then I'd say, like, okay, well, then we can't do that. Like, it's just not feasible to be able to do something like that because of if it's just a state level thing. Like, that's the thing that is a completely other conversation about the NCAA if you want to have. Why are regional judges making rules for a national institution? Like the Alabama thing, case in point, the Alabama player was ruled a temporary restraining order from an Alabama judge. It's like, well, yeah, would one in California give him that? Probably not. Like that's a whole thing. That's a can of worms. I don't want to open that one up. But the lawmaker thing, I want to talk about that. Like,
and this is strictly a conversation. Real quick, as Rick says, Jacob, the free market guy, says somebody can only make a certain amount. That's not what I'm saying, Rick. Is if you're going to have tax dollars involved, then yeah, I'm going to cap it. If the state is paying for it, then that's not the free market. That's the state. Yeah. They're asking the state for money here. What we have right now is the free market. But my point is, if you're going to let the free market run it, then the free market's going to run it. But if you're going to also ask the state for money, then the state can set its own guardrails. Now that becomes state dollars. So there is a very big difference there.
Yeah, That's a good point. They like the state thing. Well, we have a couple more minutes here. For those that don't know, basically KU, K-State, and Wichita State, and Brett Yormark even were, represented in Topeka on Monday, talking to lawmakers, in an attempt to get help with funding to, help their athletic programs. With the, case being the better we are, the better the economic boom is for the state, which there's a point to be made there. And, this is where I want to dig into, is that it's your taxpayer dollars that would be doing this, residents of the state of Kansas, because it's state money, basically. We're doing this for, football stadiums, not in Kansas per se, Star Bonds, but this happens for football stadiums. This happens for basketball arenas and baseball stadiums and all those things of that nature. What would the difference be if your money was going towards an athletic program?
Well,
to me, the return on investment is one thing. There could literally be a return on investment. And that's not a hypothetical in this situation. I don't know if they would do that or not, or if it's a grant type of thing. I don't know if that's the thing that comes to my mind immediately, is that like, okay, we'll help you. Here's $1 million for each of you. Okay, that's gone in 1 year. Can you do that again next year? Can you do that again the year after that? Because you give us the money and it goes to a player and the money's gone. It's not, all right, here's, Chiefs Stadium. Here's $2 billion, build a football stadium. That football stadium is there, and that is owned by the state. This argument, which I don't want to, I guess I don't want to assume, because they might be building they might be building arenas. I guess to all of our knowledge, it's to help with the funding of staying competitive is the best way that we took away from that meeting.
That's the framework of it. I don't know the details of it. Maybe the details, maybe they can be given to us. I agree. Like if are we talking about grants? Or are we talking about sales tax? Okay.
I don't know.
Wichita State. Yeah, we'll give you some money to help pay your players, but we're going to have to attach a sales tax to your ticket.
And that's interesting, because then my mind goes to, well, then are they employees then? Like that feels like there's
I don't think it would have to be. I don't think it would have to be that way. I think you could give it to the program to spend as necessary. That would become the coach and the ADs to say, here's how we should distribute this money we have. And the problem though is like, if you then have a bad year and you don't generate the money, is it at a loss there for the state? And then at that point, and this is where this would make my head explode. Are state lawmakers going to be the ones making coaching decisions? Like, sorry, that's not successful enough. We got to make a change here.
That's my mind goes to Utah, that is now being funded by private equity, and that was what everybody talks about. Is that when your company goes to private equity, you lose a lot of say in the things that you want to do. And if this isn't private equity, it's I guess public equity is the best way to put it. It's the state. Like that makes it interesting. Then it's like, are the taxpayers, like, do they get a say? Like, it's their money. Again, are they going to get something to say, like, well, let's go get that guy. Like, we're paying for him. Go get that guy out of the pool. And then it gets real. And then it's talking about like elected officials and this kind of stuff rather than private hires. And it's weird. It gets really deep in the weeds, I think. And that causes a lot of complications.
It does. And that's why, like, it's easier for boosters and things to handle that part of it.
That's my thing. That's my biggest part of the state funding thing, is that it's a hard time to wrestle with. I imagine lawmakers will say this, is that like you and I, if we want Wichita State to be better, we can go give them our money. We don't need the middleman of the state giving people that don't want to do that their money to the schools.
Yep. We got to get some clarity on that. We will. We'll have Kevin Saul in tomorrow. I think you're going to talk to him today, so we'll get some answers on some of this stuff, or some attempts at answers. We'll kind of put a bow on this one. We're going to talk Eric Bieniemy. We're going to talk Vahe Gregorian and his no vote for Bill Belichick on the other side. Stick with us. We got more Sports Daily coming.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app. brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my god, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleland here with you. We are trying to solve all of life's problems here, at least with the NCAA, and we're probably not doing an amazing job at it because it's a confusing mess and it's hard to deal with. And
I think all we're trying to do is just explain to people what is going on.
Even that stuff. You can chime in, KFH hotline, 869-1240.
We got somebody on the hotline.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. We've got Facebook, YouTube, X available for your video comments. We appreciate those as always. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected. Thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app as well. We're going to finish this conversation, maybe we'll keep it going. We're also going to mix in Eric Bieniemy and his conversation yesterday with the Chiefs media, and we find out one of our beloved columnists, Vahe Gregorian, is one of the no voters on Bill Belichick, but his reason might surprise you and might actually make you think a little bit about the instant reaction that we all had was, what? We'll get to that as well. It's all what's on tap, by the way, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company with $3.40 beers today to celebrate the birthday of the 34th state. Our home on the range, Kansas. Let's party in honor of the Sunflower State. $3.40 beers all day at all 3 WBC locations. Today only, Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here in Kansas. Happy Kansas Day, everybody. Let's go to the KFH hotline where we have Stuart holding. Stuart, happy Kansas Day. Welcome into Sports Daily.
Hello, yes. I've got a question. Why are we allowing students to still get scholarships and free room and board if they're really, in all truth, just employees? That would save universities with football. That would save them a bunch of money if the students had to pay for their own school and their own room and board if they're just employees, which is essentially what they are.
They still have to go to class, though. And so, and I think that's a really good question, Stuart. I don't know if you could do like an either or. Right.
I think that's an idea that a lot of people are kind of pursuing.
If you're going to take revenue share, then you've got to pay your own room. But then do they have to pay for their own classes? Like, do they have to pay tuition?
That's the idea. I think that was kind of the reasoning behind, you think back to the K-State thing where they had to cut all the walk-ons. Like, it's because that there's roster limits because of that kind of thing, where it kind of prevents schools from doing that more so.
Right. And then the scholarships go to the other sports. So then it doesn't matter. They still have to be, they still have to travel and do all those things, but at least their scholarships are covered.
There's kind of the inverse of your question, Stuart, where there's rules in place to where you kind of, can't abuse that. Like, so where Georgia couldn't call and offer a 5-star and say, hey, we're going to make you a walk-on so you don't count towards our roster, and then we'll just pay $1 million so you can pay for your own tuition. But to your point, I've always kind of had that idea back before this was all legal, is to say, like, everybody always makes the argument about, like, well, they're getting the scholarship paid for, and, well, their scholarship's not paying for their lunch. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we should just be paying them what their scholarship is worth, and then they can, do whatever they wish. And now we're at the point where they're millionaires and everything like that. But it's an interesting question, and I have to imagine people are kind of pursuing that idea a little bit at the slightest amount, Stuart. But again, it's kind of different money that all counts the same. It's a really weird thing, basically.
Yeah, I get it is that, but still, it kind of sucks for people that work for a living, and then these guys get everything for free, which we don't, and they do.
That's what we talk about a lot, is that, John Calipari makes this argument of, like, is this healthy for the kids? Like, obviously it's healthy to go get your money's worth while you're there, but, like, you're going to have a lot of situations where a kid's 22 years old leaving college after getting, everything for free and thrown at him and being a millionaire. And then it's like, all right, time to go be an intern. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd give you both the option. Which would you take? Leaving college broke as hell and going to work for $7 an hour I did, or leaving college with $2 million in my pocket for $7?
Thank you.
It's tough. I think and there are two very clear lines that you have to think about. What is publicly funded and what is privately funded?
Yeah.
Right. If it's donor money, again, I don't really care what donors do with their money. If it's the public money, which would be scholarships and those kinds of things, then those are conversations, I think, where you can have bigger conversations about what's the best use of the public money, because
I mean, in my mind,
there is more at stake than
Yeah.
just an ROI. I use that in a bit like it's a business, but the point is a college shouldn't be run like a business, right? There are reasons we would like our kids to go to college, to learn, to grow, to do all those things. That is a great use of our money. Does it get used in silly ways a lot of times? Sure it does, but it's not all about a return on investment when it comes to what the state is providing. I get that, and I acknowledge it, and I believe in that too, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, my mind goes to, in that conversation that Stuart brings up, that's the Harlan Beverly thing. That's what he did. Remember that they went and got Mate, and they were over the scholarship limit back when that was still a thing. And Harlan said, like, well, I'm getting paid. Like, here, take mine. Like, I'll just pay for my own school. It's fine. Like, that's a voluntary thing from Harlan Beverly. That's where I think it gets into the hot water of like telling kids like, hey, you're going to have to pay for your school.
Well, and paying for school at Wichita State's is different than paying for school at TCU.
Yeah.
Or SMU or a private school somewhere like that. That makes it hard to.
And it brings up, this was another thing that kind of got brought up in that same conversation as well, while we're in the weeds about this, is that, you and I are both Division II guys where the scholarship rules are different, like much different.
Yeah.
Baseball is the perfect example. I believe, I can't remember what exactly it is, but I'm pretty sure like Division II baseball teams, last I knew, get 5 full scholarships, I believe.
But they can chop them up.
And you chop them up, and everybody gets a 5% piece of the pie.
It's that way a lot of ways in Division I too.
And then you get to whatever KU baseball, and if you're on the roster, you get a full ride basically. Like it's much different.
It's tough. Stuart, we appreciate the call. Thank you for the contribution. There are no easy answers to any of this. I think we don't get to the next step though unless we get some federal lawmaker guidelines.
And this is
put in place. They literally can make the laws. Like what they can just make it up.
That's what we talk about. It feels like it's so easy that somebody could just do this. And it's not easy, but so easy that you could get bipartisan support for this kind of thing.
Enough to at least give us some guardrails on transfer portal. Give us some guardrails on these coaching contracts. Give us some guardrails on revenue share.
Yeah.
Like just set out the map and then let's see how teams can work within it. What will happen probably when that happens is, and everyone loves this term, the haves and the have-nots. That has been in existence since the beginning of time, right? Yeah. That's not a new thing to college athletics. That's why we love the Cinderella story of the NCAA tournament. There's always going to be haves and have-nots. So you set the guidelines, and then everybody kind of learns how to work within them. But you can't do that when it's just everybody does whatever the hell they want to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the part that it's college basketball is the perfect example because there's no FBS, FCS. Like it's one big thing. And like the haves and the have-nots, you want to talk about Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, like they've got it. They'll be fine every year. Like they're okay. You get to Wichita State, it's like they've got it, but they're going to have to work for it every year. Like that's
always been that way.
And then you get down to Mercyhurst, and they don't even have $1 to give a player.
They're trying to get to the next game. I get it, but go look. It's my favorite exercise every year when we go look at the history of teams that have won national championships in college basketball.
It's the baseball
played
argument.
in the game. Like the Cinderella is fun for like 2 rounds and then they're dead usually. Yeah. That maybe we get one into the Final Four. We don't ever get one as a national champion. So it's okay. That's the way it's always been though. Football? Are you kidding me? We're going to sit here and pretend like everybody has the same chance in football and they always have. And now that's a change that's happening. I would make the case of the opposite.
It's so frustrating.
Never had a chance at a national championship.
This is Coach Kleiman's point that drove him to retirement is the fact of like, we at K-State have an opportunity that we could realistically go win the Big 12, and that's not out of the question. They get in there, and they could get matched up with Ole Miss, LSU right off the bat. And guess what? LSU is supposed to be capped at $20 million across all sports, like K-State is as well. I don't know if K-State is or not. They probably aren't either because nobody is. But there's probably a $20 million discrepancy between the two teams that are going to be playing. And that's what he's like,
Does
well,
that mean
what are we
K-State
doing
can't
here?
beat them?
They probably can, but it's harder.
Of course it's harder. That's the beauty of it. I remember watching Boise State beat Oklahoma.
The whole
point
of the House settlement was to try to limit the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
You can't do that. That's a dumb thing to try to do.
That's the rules that people aren't following.
Go back in history and tell me where that's ever been the case in major college athletics.
It's the case in professional athletics. The Kansas City Chiefs went to 3 straight Super Bowls.
But you can't close the gap in college. You can't.
Why not? If you want to pay them, it wants to become professional sports, you can treat it like it's professional sports.
Well, if it wants to become professional sports, which I don't think anybody actually wants.
Nobody wants that, but if you're paying players, they are in turn professionals.
I don't agree. Not necessarily. They're sponsored players. It's like, I mean, Olympic athletes get sponsored. I don't. They're not professionals unless they, unless they have the same.
They do this. They do this for a living. Is the best way to put it.
They're sponsored players. It's a crazy conversation. We'll continue it tomorrow. When we come back, though, let's get into this Belichick vote. See if our pal Via Gregorian's rationale changes your mind at all. We'll do it next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. We're going to deal with this snow and this ice for a little while longer. No problem at Crestview. They've got 2 state-of-the-art simulators up and running. There's a simulator league happening for those competitive types that need to get a little juice flowing like you do out on the golf course. You can do that there. They got the restaurant, the bar, everything's open. So get out to Crestview, give them a call. Best deals on memberships this time of year. Tell them we sent you from Sports Daily. All right, TJ, we come back, and I appreciate everybody on the college thing. Like we all come from the same place. We all love it, and we all want it to be as awesome as it can be. And it's really complicated and messy. And Godspeed everybody trying to do it.
The hardest moral wrestling that we all have to deal with is that it's never been better to watch.
Well, it's never been better to watch, and it's never been more correct in the sense that players who are the most responsible for the reasons we love it are now the financial beneficiary of it. Like that to me is always better. It's better, right? But it's a mess, and it's hard to. We don't just sit there and pretend like really strange things are happening to make it the thing that we love. We get it now. It's all up in the front. And again, Godspeed to everybody trying to navigate it. I know it's difficult, and I feel for everybody that has to lose employment, but whatever the consequences are, like there's an end game here that's better, and we'll just keep trying to get there. It's taking too long. Let's put some smoke on it. All right. Something that we talked about yesterday that everybody, including me, could not believe. It's one of those rare unifying things is that Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So the reasons are plenty. Some of it is spite. I don't want to, I want to now, I don't even want to say most of it is spite now after what we're about to talk about it, but some of it is. Some of it I still do believe is what's happened in the last 18 months or 24 months with Bill Belichick. But some of it is what Vahe Gregorian brought up yesterday in a column. Vahe Gregorian, if you don't know him, is a columnist for the KC Star. He is everybody's favorite columnist that works in this business because he is awesome. He's very good at what he does, and he is a great human that's kind to people, and that's a rarity, can be in that world where people can tend to get a little grumpy. He's not. He's a great, great person and treats everybody with a tremendous amount of respect, and I have no doubt approached his vote with genuine sincerity. Well, if you go to find his column at the KC Star, you'll read about why he was a no vote on Belichick. And basically, the reason is because there are senior members, and Belichick goes into this class of people where you can only vote for 5, which I can almost certainly hope or think will change next year. You can only vote 5 in. And Belichick falls into a group with coaches and what are called senior members. Is that right? So senior members, and you can only take 3 from that group. The problem is that Belichick's in that group, and Vahe thought that there were very deserving people in that group that would not get into the hall if they don't get in now. So his rationale was, with the rules that are in place, he's going to vote for those people that he feels like absolutely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because Belichick's going to get there, right? I only get 5 votes. So what's the rightest way to get to who I think deserves to be in? Well, Belichick's going to get in anyway. I feel like these other 3 guys 100% need to be Hall of Famers. I'm going to vote for them now because if I don't eventually, they're not going to be able to get in. And I think that is very rational. I can't sit here and tell you as much as it's insane that Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, that I wouldn't do the same thing because I think I might. Now, that's a problem with the system. Clearly, the system should not be set up that way. And I've said this forever, TJ. You either are or you are not a Hall of Famer. Like the idea of a first ballot or the idea, like that all makes no sense to me. Your resume doesn't change. So you're either good enough or you aren't good enough. No amount of time changes your resume. If you want to be a unanimous choice, that's a badge of honor, I suppose. But the idea of waiting your turn or taking time to be a Famer is one of the more illogical things we do in sports. Your resume is your resume. You're either a Hall of Famer or you're not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I agree. It's a kind of a, I don't know, the best way to put this, and they're going to call me a nerd. Andy's going to call back and call me a nerd again. I took a lot of ethics classes in college. I went to private school. It's the perfect scenario of the argument of when you drive past an accident and somebody's pulled over on the side of the road or something like that, and you drive by because you say the next guy will get it. You know what I mean? Like and that's kind of what it is. It's him just saying like, well, I'll go good. Like somebody else will vote for Belichick, and it won't be a big deal. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. And it wasn't wrong in thinking that. I mean, you know, whatever it was, 40 people did vote for.
But if you were driving to help out at another wreck that wasn't as bad,
that's the argument. You know, to be made.
You're on your way to do something good and right.
Yeah.
But then you pass something else. Do you stop to do the most immediate thing, or do you continue on to go do the good and right thing you were on your way to do?
Yeah, this is some real good ethics conversations. This is taking me back to 19-year-old TJ.
I was good at ethics. I love those debates.
I went to Newman. A lot of people know here.
Not the right way to say that. I loved those classes. I loved those debates.
Yeah, your ethics are
good at ethics. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's an interesting conversation. I don't know. I don't think that they are going to change the rules. I don't think that's as much of a slam dunk as you think that is. I think that exclusivity is not the badge of honor that maybe the Hall of Fames think that they are. You know, you talk about like the MLB is the same way. Like they are very prideful on exclusivity of like only the best of the best are going to be in here. The Basketball Hall of Fame lets freaking everybody in. Like it's different. It's to the point of the MLB Hall of Fame where there's now a social media account called the Hall of Pretty Good that is supposed to celebrate the guys that don't get in for the most part. And it's awesome if you don't follow them. I love those guys. But that's why I don't think that will change. I think that they do pride themselves on saying, like, you only get 5 votes because we want to make sure that you are using them to the best of your ability. And so with the rules given, like, that is the argument for Vahe of saying, like, did he do the right thing of, doing this, knowing that was he only gets 5? And, you can make the argument that he felt like he was doing the right thing for these other guys rather than Bill Belichick. And that's an argument on itself. But you know what I mean? Like if the rules are there, the rules are in place, like this is a possibility.
The problem with the rule is, and this is why, like, how is Chris Carter and Terrell Owens, like, how are these guys not first ballot? You know, I think the problem with the rule is if you every year, if your call, and I don't know what the voting bylaws or guidelines are, I don't know what they're being asked to do. I don't know. But if it is, you must vote for the 5 most deserving every year. I think that is a flawed system, because sometimes there might be 10 people that are Hall of Famers, and sometimes there might be 2 people that are Hall of Famers. I don't think you should have to take 5. I think you just put the people in the Hall of Fame that are Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
I think if you're a voter, it should be, does this resume deserve the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? And then you move on. You don't have to vote on it more than one time ever.
I mean, that's just how these things work. There's just a process to get to these things, and that's kind of like the due process to show that, you know, like down the line, like where are you? How long does it take you to get into the Hall of Fame? And I think that it's just a question of, you know, as you kind of hit the nail on the head is what I was trying to say, is that like most deserving is the most, you know, purple or gray area term that you can have. You know,
what I'm saying is Bill Belichick's resume the best one? It is.
Yes.
Then it should be. Then everyone should vote for him. If
That's
that, but I don't know. And again, I don't know if that's what they're called to do. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's how it's done. But if that's the case, then that's how it would be. But the problem with that is that you only take 5. So what if there are 7?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most deserving is such a hard, especially when you're voting for players and coaches alike. Like it's the same thing that we talk about of like, it's just not a definite definition of anything.
But then if you do that, the inherent problem, getting into like the debatey, ethicy thing of this, the inherent problem is, okay, you got to vote for the 5 most deserving in any given year. There's 2 problems with that. What if there are 6 that deserve it? And the other problem is, what if there are only 2 that deserve it?
Yeah.
So now the Hall of Fame isn't about your resume and what you did as a player, coach, whatever it is that's getting you in. It's about how lucky your timing is. Were you a candidate in a year where maybe you weren't up against Bill Belichick, you know? And then you've got these situations where guys have to wait their entire lives, which should not be the spirit of the Hall of Fame. The spirit of the Hall of Fame is to celebrate a great career. That's it. It's simple.
Yeah.
It either is good enough or it isn't good enough. And if there's a waiting period because voters change, I'm okay with that, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, we don't even need a vote to say Bill Belichick's a Hall of Fame. He just is.
I know but the thing, back to this most deserving thing, like Vahe's argument is the perfect argument to counter that, is that like the most deserving of my votes, like, well, you think about that out loud. It's like, well, yeah, Bill Belichick is the most deserving. He's got the best resume. But then, like, where does his resume and his level of success compare against the guys that maybe their last chance and they do deserve it? Because that kind of has a multiplier on the deserving, you know, variable, if you want to put it like that. And like Vahe's 5 or whatever he voted are the most deserving in his eyes. Like that doesn't mean
how do you compare Belichick a coach to Ken Anderson a player?
Exactly. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way of saying like does he's got an incredible resume and he's a Hall of Famer. But when you think about it in terms of most deserve, it's the same thing where it's the most valuable player argument, where it's like, well, right. Yeah, Steph Curry was the best player in basketball, but who's the most valuable player in basketball? Well, that doesn't mean anything. That word means nothing.
It's like the Hall of Fame it's going to take the great sports talk radio conversation, the great water coolers having a beer conversation of who's more responsible for the Patriots championships, Belichick or Brady, and then having that be the conversation that has to be had on the Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah,
they're making it more complicated than it needs to be. Here is our new list of candidates. How many of these people do you think deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? And that's kind of what baseball does, right? Like, here's the list of candidates. Do they deserve it or not? My problem with baseball is the voters change their mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, last year he wasn't deserving enough, but this year he's deserving enough.
I agree. It's
like you take
it's a weird process.
Take that process, that simple and just say yes or no. Here's the players eligible. Yes or no. Are they a Hall of Famer? Yeah. And the ones that have enough yes votes are Hall of Famers. The ones that don't aren't.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just do that?
It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation because that's just the Pro Football Hall of Fame's like I keep saying, exclusivity is the thing that they must be priding themselves on of the reason why they don't do that. Like they want to make it harder to get into the Hall of Fame, which to your point, is that the goal of the Hall of Fame? And that's the conversation to be had is, it shouldn't be the exclusive hall. It shouldn't be the these guys deserve to be remembered in that light type of thing. And so I don't know. A lot of people, we talked about this yesterday. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. The Hall of Fame, we're baseball guys. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a really cool thing. And whenever they do it every year, it's like, wow, like that's awesome. It's that guy's in there. That's really cool. But like, I've never been like people that got so worked up that Jeter wasn't a unanimous Hall of Famer. And it's like, guys, I don't care. And like, and if somebody doesn't make the Hall of Fame, like, what we talk, Kenny Lofton was the example that everybody's kind of lobbying for. Kenny Lofton should be a Hall of Famer. It's like, if Kenny Lofton's a Hall of Famer, that's awesome. Kenny Lofton was great. If Kenny Lofton isn't a Hall of Famer, guess what? He was really, really good, and you got to watch him play if you got to watch him play. Who cares if he has a statue of his face in the Hall of Fame? And for like the players, I understand it's a point of pride to be in there, and it's an accolade that everybody views it as, and things of that nature and everything. But my point is, maybe we're putting too many eggs in the Hall of Fame basket.
Well, look, you can't quantify the value of the Hall of Fame eye of the beholder type thing, right? Like it means more to some people than it does the others. But the process doesn't have to be like if you don't think Jeter should be a unanimous or any player, if you vote no, just explain why. If your reasoning is because I don't want him to be the only unanimous one, that should be a red flag on your voting status.
Correct.
You're voting on whether their resume is good enough. Like that's it. That's all you're voting on.
That brings interesting conversation, like the Belichick conversation. That brings interesting conversations in and of its own. Not the fact that like should they be Hall of Famers, but like are you using your vote? At the simplest terms, are they a Hall of Famer? Yes or no is the question. And that's what
needs to be asked.
And that's what the Football Hall of Fame, makes it confusing. And Tavon Hayes has a point. Like I'm not answering, is he a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Of course he's a Hall of Famer, but you're asking me to vote for the 5 most deserving. To my mind, I think it's these guys.
Yeah, I loved that article. He did such a good job of making me think differently about because we don't, we see that kind of thing and we all have the same like Patrick Mahomes reaction. Like, how is that even possible? Like, what are we doing here? Oh, well, that's how it's possible. Well, where's the flaw? The flaw is a little bit in the system here. We can't have a system that allows that to happen. But again, just simplify it. And I've always thought too, like the Hall of Fame to me, it's a celebration of the best players, coaches, whatever, of their generation. It's because you can't compare generations. So like that would be my criteria. I mean, I would obviously have a statistical component to it as a voter, but my criteria, because what I don't want to see happen is you go like a generation of fans that you're telling them they never watched a Hall of Fame player. Because I don't buy that for a second. I think every generation's different. Who are the best players while they played? Those should be your Hall of Famers. Because the reality is, if we put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame and Tim Raines in the Hall of Fame, let me take one that's actually in there. Let's say King Griffey Jr. and Tim Raines. Okay, and they're in the Hall of Fame. Do we need it to be unanimous or not unanimous to know that King Griffey Jr. was a better baseball player? No, you just look at the numbers and you say, oh, he was a better baseball player, right? We don't have to have all this other stuff. That will sort itself. That's why I think you put the steroid guys in. Once they're in, we're going to know. We're not going to forget that era existed. We're not going to forget that these circumstances existed. It is a museum. We better not forget. That's the whole point of it. It's a museum. Tell the history of the sport, celebrate the sport. And sometimes you're celebrating not all good things. You're celebrating the road, the path that got the sport to where it is today. Put him in. Well, I'm not going to forget Barry Bonds was tied up in the steroid scandal. He's a Hall of Famer.
The steroid argument is a whole can of worms that people spend literal years of their lives on.
I know, and it's that's an even harder one.
It is. I'm not going to open up, but the last thing I want to say on this is that there was 10 plus people at least that voted no on Bill Belichick, and only one of them made it public that they voted no. And it's Vahe Gregorian.
That's right.
Does that shock you at all? Not in a second.
Not at all, because his reason's good, and he actually explains himself. I wish you have to.
And it's not, and that's if people don't know Vahe or read Vahe's stuff, zero part of Vahe doing that is like, I'm going to take a dunk on the Hall of Fame. It's just him saying like, hey guys, I did this. This is why I did it. Like not being like, listen to me, I'm smart. You're wrong.
No, it's just like, oh, I should probably explain why that is. Man, he's the best. Go read that column. It's really good. KC Star. All right, we'll come back. Let's talk Eric Bieniemy's conversation with the media next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you on this Thursday. A lot of interesting conversations tonight. Jerome Tang contributing after the last loss about his problems with the NCAA. You'll have Wildcat basketball talk tonight right here on KFH. Tune in at 7 for the Jerome Tang Coaches Show. Or listen online at kfhradio.com. Download the free Odyssey app and search for KFH. We welcome you back in here. Eric Bieniemy spoke yesterday, TJ, with the media. I didn't think there was a lot of good stuff in there. I'll be honest. He didn't give much insight into the things that we're so curious about, as far as like what could change in the offense. It was more of, well, I still got to talk to Andy Reid and make the decisions and everything. The one thing that caught my attention was when he was asked about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and basically said, yeah, they've reached out and he can't wait to work with those guys again. I think Kelce might be coming back, TJ.
Is it a smoke screen? Is it a smoke screen?
Are we really smoke screening
the offensive coordinator's Zoom interview in January?
The verb tense of a podcast and whether they can utilize Eric Bieniemy to help Matt. I don't know.
It's all connected. It's all connected. Hey, he's going to marry Taylor Swift, who's the queen of smoke screens. All right, like let's not put anything past him.
Yeah, you might know more. I don't even know what that means. You might know more about Taylor Swift's smoke screens than I do. But I think he's coming back. I won't even call it 50-50 anymore. I'm going to say 60-40. He's coming back.
I think I used to be like 80-20. He wasn't coming back. Now I'm probably like 55-55. 55-45. Excuse me.
55-50. Math.
55-45. Sorry.
Which direction though?
I still don't think he's coming back. Okay. But I feel way less confident saying that.
We should come up with a bet with consequences. So we're going to introducing the Headlines I've Missed segment soon. Maybe we'll start that next week. We should come up with like a show bets in the spirit of the incredible program that follows us, the Dan Patrick Show, and some of the bets that they have among hosts, which are hilarious. We should, on some of these really good ones, we should come up with consequences. Like I say he's coming back, you say he's not coming back. Loser has to what? We should do that. We'll think about that. But anyway, so Bieniemy doesn't give a lot of insight. He did talk about the timelines. Basically, he got the call from Andy Reid the next day after they lost their playoff game. The timing of all this it still fascinates me. Going back to what Andy Reid was saying about Nagy and how it was predetermined that he was going to do something else. He called Eric Bieniemy the next day. The Chiefs were ready to make a change. I'm over like whatever everybody says. I'm glad they're all friends and they all like. I think Andy Reid was looking for a change.
Yeah,
and
I don't think that's a surprise.
Well, it is. It should be to the people that think that Andy Reid is just the offensive coordinator and all these other guys are just like puppets for him. I don't think that's the case. I think Andy Reid was ready for a change. And I think that is another sign that he's willing to change the way the offense has looked for the last few years.
I think so. I hope so, right? That's kind of what fans were hoping for, and so you hope that is going to be the case. It's the same thing I keep saying about the Bieniemy situation, is that you just kind of hope that there's something there that is more than just the familiarity. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that he talked about yesterday that like there's a lot of him that has changed, but Bieniemy is still Bieniemy. Basically, it was kind of like one of the driving quotes of his press conference, I thought. And so you wonder what has changed. He's most recently been a running backs coach. Last time I was with the Chiefs, they did not run the football. Like maybe that is something that's changed. Maybe his philosophy on the NFL has changed
because when Bieniemy was there than when he was not.
Yeah, but they also just didn't run it very much. You know what I mean? Like
the amount of runs.
Yes.
Right.
You can say what you want to say about that. Yeah. That quote to me that I'm referring to, like that may even mean like we've talked a lot about the NFL philosophy changing. Maybe that he's changed with that as well, of saying like maybe we need to run the ball more. Maybe like so it might be a Bieniemy 2.0 that wasn't 1.0, even though 1.0 was one of the best in the league, but maybe that's not what you need anymore. So, you don't know. There's not an answer to this question. It's kind of just like a fallacy to keep pondering until we actually see it on the field.
It is. Let's go back 15 years on the running back thing, and we'll just go by running back carries. Is that fair? Is that a fair one to look at? Sure. So what year did Andy Reid get with the Chiefs? Let me double check that real quick. 2014 was his first year. I think it was a little earlier than that.
Yeah, you're right. They made yeah.
So if you go, I'm going to go back to 2013. So in 2011 and 12, the Chiefs ran the ball more, right, than when Andy Reid got there. They ran it more per game. They attempted more. Since he got there in 2013, the most that they've run the ball was in 2014, and then 2021, 2022. And then we know they did in 24 because everybody was hurt, right? But they didn't do it very well. And then this past year was actually a pretty decent total, pretty average. But there, if you go and then look at, okay, yards per carry, what were the best years? 2017 and 2022. What years were Eric Bieniemy there? Let me just make sure I get all my years correct.
He was 18 through 22 as his offensive coordinator years.
But when was he? But he was a running backs coach before that. So he was the running backs coach. He's been on staff from 2013, right when Andy Reid got the job, to 2022. So he was the running backs coach from 2013 to 2017.
Yes.
And they had some of their best years running the ball, their most effective years in that stretch.
They also had a guy named by Jamal Charles running the football.
They also draft Patrick Mahomes in 2019, which changes it. So what I've been trying to do lately is like how much with Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy to, maybe to a small, like how much has Andy Reid ever really been willing to run the ball since he's been with the Chiefs? They had more rushing touchdowns. They had more yards per game, more yards per carry in those years where Bieniemy was the running backs coach. Andy Reid wanted to make a change, no matter what they say, with Nagy, I believe anyway. And so you see all that. And if there's any chance that Andy Reid's like, you know what, let's do something a little different next year, doesn't it make sense to go back to Bieniemy, your OG running backs coach? That like that to me does it makes sense. Like there is logic. You can follow a path. Now, the counter to it also is very possible that Andy Reid just likes coaching with the guys he's familiar with, and nothing's going to change because it's Andy Reid. Like that's also still very possible here.
That's my point of why it is scary, is that, we sit here and we say we can follow the path of all these things. And that also could just be us following the path for all these things because you have your rose-colored glasses on.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, I want them to run the ball more. Therefore, I'm going to find the path to get there.
Yeah.
That's absolutely possible.
Yes.
I don't know what the probability on either is. I don't even have a good, maybe 50-50. What are the chances the Chiefs commit to a run game next year? 50-50? I think that's probably pretty fair. Andy Reid just hasn't done it with the Chiefs. The problem is, though, like most of this time now from 29, like they've had Patrick Mahomes. And it is a little counterintuitive to have Patrick Mahomes and not just throw the ball all over the field. Now they have a Patrick Mahomes coming off an ACL injury that's into his 30s. Okay. Like we see this from quarterbacks all the time. Josh Allen was just a part of the league's best running attack. How many times did Tom Brady early in his career, like Tom Brady's evolution is fascinating. The volume of throws and everything as it waned and flowed throughout his career in what he did. I just think it makes sense. And again, the biggest reason I think the Chiefs can and need to run the ball is because that's what their roster is built to do.
Yeah.
Other than a running back, right? Which is the easiest thing. And it's the easiest thing to solve. Simplest thing to solve. They have the line in place to run the football.
It's almost literally the only thing they do have right now.
Yeah, I mean, if Kelsey comes back and Rashee Rice is back and Xavier Worthy, I mean, they'll still have a fine attack. Like,
but I'm talking on January 29th. The only thing you feel confident in being there next year is the front four of that offensive line, basically.
I'd call it 5. I think Moore showed us enough to. I'm good with him at right tackle.
4.5. You don't know.
Yeah, okay, 4.5 fair. 4.5 fair.
But
that's more than most. That's more than most teams have.
Exactly.
And you're confident in it, and the most money on that line next year isn't going to be at the tackles. It's going to be right up the middle.
Yep.
And that's where you run the ball, right? Smith and Humphrey. You just get behind those guys and you run the ball. And so it just like it is the way to go. And then you think about, oh yeah, Mahomes got hurt. Oh yeah, the defense may not be, the defense is going to have to do a little rebuilding. Like there are a lot of reasons running the ball more makes sense. And it doesn't have to be the Bills this year. It just has to be more than what they've done in the past, right? More than can we get a running back to carry the ball more than 12 times a game? Like, can we get a, up there around 18, 20 carries and become a ball control, run based, let Mahomes kill you on third downs and make those are the things that do make sense if the Chiefs want to be good immediately. If they want to rebuild and reload, then this probably isn't going to be the best year for Chiefs football.
Yeah. I don't think that that's what they're going to do. I think that they're too committed to where they are right now to try to say like, well, we'll get there. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be, and I've been seeing things already, the things that we've already kind of been talking about like they could cut so much dead weight on the cap basically, or dead cap and clear up a little bit and have the room to go draft this guy and go get this guy and all that stuff. And they're going to be flirting with, as Max likes to call it, of skirting the cap, but they're going to lose so much money off of their roster. Like they're going to have room to go, reload. I don't think that rebuild is the right word, but they're going to reload and, be a new team, but still be a title contending team.
Yeah. It's, this should be a really fun offseason. The draft pick mixed in, the high draft pick mixed in, the navigating. This will be a fun one. This will be a fun one to follow because it's no longer just, whatever they do, they'll be fine. They're the best team. Like that doesn't apply now. And I think that'll make it a little bit fun. All right, we're coming back. Don't go away. More Sports Daily coming up.